It's early.
Hi, Georgie.
Georgie, babe. Go ahead, Mary, go.
Hi, George. Hi, babe.
Go ahead, Mary. Snap away. Mary, get those. Go ahead, Mary, do your thing. Here we have George Hamilton. How you doing, Georgie, babe? Good. You look great. George Hamilton's in here. All the photographers taking pictures. And we're going to start a discussion soon. There's George looking at everybody. All right, this is enough. We have Mary taking photos, and we'll show it to you later. Goodbye. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye.
I got here a little early, I went over to the self-help section, which is always a good thing to do in a bookstore because it can get you through the night if you haven't got booze or religion. But I went up and had a Starbucks and sat there and we signed some books and everything. And I appreciate you sitting here and waiting. It's so always, you have no idea when you're appearing anywhere if there's going to be anybody there at all. You're always surprised, especially in the theater when they have to pay big money to come. You think, oh my God, what happens if no one's there? And then you get relieved that I won't have to do the show. And that's happened a few times, but I was right over here on Broadway, and I've made this run a lot because I did Chicago, as you mentioned. I did it twice, 6 months, the first run. They gave me 2 weeks of rehearsal, and I had an overzealous lady who was in the show with me, and there's a scene where you sit there and she's supposed to bounce up and down, Joe. So good to see you, pal. I've been a long time. I'm out of my opening joke, right?
All right, Joe, baby.
So she's bouncing up and down on my knee, and she just completely, that was it. I busted the knee. And I'll never forget, it's in the book. I said, my knee's gone. I don't know what to do. And they said, stand there and we'll redo the whole show around you. And you don't move. Well, I had a whole act to go through. I just stood there. They thought, this is rather weird. The next day, I was to be operated on. Doctor said, can't operate. It's too much of a problem here. He's got to go down the swelling. Then he said, the stand-in will go on. I said, the stand-in? I said, I've never met the stand-in. They call them understudies in the theater. I said, I've never met the guy. So I couldn't help it. My ego was just enormous. I had to go and see if this guy was as good as I was. So the next night, I crept into the back of the theater, and it was in the back row. And I didn't know the fellow stand-in looked exactly like Sammy Davis Jr. He was about 5, 6, or 7. And I heard this lady in the back row stalking this other lady. She said, well, I knew he was dark, but I didn't think he was that good.
Very
I swear
good.
that's true. And it just made me laugh. Because they didn't even change the billing or anything. I don't think anyone knew the difference. But anyway, I'd like, with Steve's permission, this is not one of those formal things. I like to think about was being in movies. My brother was enormously good looking, and my mother was extraordinarily glamorous. She'd been to California once, and she thought the casting couch was unfortunately what would be her fate if she stayed there, so she didn't become an actress. And she all her life wanted to be an actress. My older brother, wanted to be an actor more than life. And now, it was a little bit difficult to explain my brother, but my brother was more like my half-brother, half-sister. And my mother wanted to meet Clark Gable and be involved with those kind of movies. So my brother only thought of Betty Grable, and I thought he was in love with Betty Grable. Then I realized he wanted to be Betty Grable. He always thought he had better legs than Betty Grable. So I just remember they were fighting over whether they were going to go to Hollywood or whether we're going to go to Florida after my grandmother and grandfather died. They tossed a coin. And we ended up in a car on our way to California with my mother telling me about all these places. And I'm back in the back seat with my other brothers and a dog. And we're on our way to California and Route 66. And it was an enormous experience because my life changed then. I realized they wanted to be actors. I wanted to be a doctor. And you know how fate is in life. If you stay in a little town, you're going to end up marrying somebody in that little town. And I would have been the town doctor. And I would have probably had some pretty good bedside manner too. I like that. But instead, I saw them want this more than life. They wanted to be actors. It didn't happen for them. And in this reticular mess or mass of mine, I decided that in some way, the only way to get excitement out of my life was to become an actor, was to fulfill their dreams. So in a strange way, everyone always said, your mother should write her book. And I thought, that's my obligation. The first part of this book is to finish the story about my mother and my brother, and then let my life begin. But my life really was kind of subordinate to theirs. Each thing I do is just an evil scheme. He had that thing he did. So I tried to get that down, and I actually almost had it down, and they said, you got it. And I thought, God, I'm going to be able to sing this song. And I realized the studio was doing that to upset Audrey Williams so that her son could do it and negotiate with it. And the last day I lost it. But by that time, I knew every song he could lip sync.
But you did get to sing a couple on the Ed Sullivan Show, didn't you?
I did, but I sang Beatles songs.
What song?
Really?
The only real fashion statement I ever made that was bad was I appeared in a Nehru suit trying to sing rock. I think it was Dock of the Bay. Sitting in the morning
Otis
sun.
Redding. Otis Redding.
I'll be sitting when the evening comes.
Go get
Yes,
him.
it will now.
Okay, how about a question over here?
I do.
Jumping. And there were a lot of Polish, a lot of Russian, really good work ethic kind of dancers, and a lot of frightening celebrities. And I went in, and I had, truthfully, I had fallen on a boat and busted 4 ribs. I had a knee from Broadway and frozen shoulders like McCain. And I didn't think there was any way I could do it. And I told him, I said, you know, I had an accident and I have to bow out of the show. And I said, what is it? I said, broken ribs. He said, how bad are they? How broken are they? I said, well, broken ribs are broken ribs. First day on the stage, they introduced me to this girl, Edyta Szowińska. Edyta is an incredible Polish girl, incredible. And she said to me, what is the problem? I said, well, I just described the physical ailment. She said, don't worry, little prince.
No.
She said, I had Evander Holyfield last year, and I held him. I went 5 rounds with him. I said, okay. Really? And then I had this fantasy. I'm looking at her. I said, this is a woman who could have a birth a child, change a tractor tire, and dance at the same time. So then I thought, what I'll do is I'll just feed her lots of pastries and get her obese so I really don't have to do this. That didn't work. And I kept seeing visions of myself jumping through a plate glass window, hoping that they let me out of it. You know, the idea at my age to get in front of all those people and dance, 20-some-odd million people make one mistake. And then I thought, okay, I saw a center divider. I said, I'll hit it. And they'll say, George Hamilton, on his way to his big win, crashes. And I'm in the hospital, that's good. None of it worked. But each week, I got better. And I got to this point where the doctor said to me, now listen, you've got, if you fall, you puncture a lung. I said, I know, I've had that problem. But Edyta's hand came right out of the ground and held me up. When I came down the stairs, I was supposed to look like I was in command. Edyta was pushing up on my shoulders. So she had me from the moment. I just loved it. But then they said, you need to take some sort of what do you call it? Steroids. But
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I took steroids. Yes,
I remember.
I won unfairly in football. I had to take the steroid for the inflammation of the knee. The steroids didn't work for the knee. It worked for another part. All I could think of was Stacy Keibler. I didn't care if I won. All I wanted to do was mount Stacy Keibler. So all I would do all day is look at Stacy Keibler. And they said, you're supposed to be dancing. I said, in a minute. I fell in love with the girl. Now, I will not take those drugs anymore. I want you to know I'm off. If I'd have won, I'd have admitted I didn't. I got down to the last. Jerry Rice, 42 years old, best wide receiver we've ever had. He says to me, man, my back is killing me. My knees, I feel horrible. I said, Jesus, Jerry, you're 42 years old. I'm 68. Suck it up, man. I hope I answered that.